Okay, so I just want to show you a quick trick. So the quick trick to find the minor for the root shape. So we've got, let's say, a D root shape here, key of C. So we're a root shape, we can play that diatonic D. That's the the diatonic tripentatonic D cage D G A. Okay, and remember, DGA goes DGA is 145. Okay, but when we get, actually DGA goes 145, but when we look at its relative minors and we want to play those notes, it's C E G. So that's a root chord, and going over to the G box here, we have G, C, D, 145 again. But look what happens when we advance the cage word to get those minors. We get E, A, C. That's a second inversion A minor chord. So the D has the D minors spell a major chord, and the G minors spell a minor chord of that key. All the others are just 145. They're just 145. Let's just take a look at A. Right here we have A, D, E, 145, and its minors are G, C, D, 145. So the minors all spell 145. Here's E. 1, E is E, but these are shapes now. But they still spell 145. Uh-oh, wait a minute. We've got, in the E box, we've got EAC. Now the major one is spelling out that minor, that A minor, okay? But its minors spell out a 145 there. Okay, let's look at the C box. C, E, G, you know it. There's that major. So now C and E, okay, the majors, the C majors spell out a major chord, root 3-5, and the E majors spell out a minor chord, E, A, C. Okay, so it switched. For D, G, the minor chords spell out the root and the minor chord, and with the majors, it's C and E. That's interesting. So just like with guitar, everything else is 145. Now let's take a look at our usual string shaped circle, the circle of fifths. Okay. All right, so this arrow is for what we're going to talk about today, and that is when you have the string shaped circle of fifths. Again, it works for most of the time. We have C, G, D, A are fifths of each other, and E is the fifth of A, but then E goes to C, and C goes to E. So you can see how most of the 1-4-5 relationships are simply 1-4-5, but some of them are 1-3-5. Okay, because remember, E is the third of C. Okay, and then we go into the 3-6 root there, and that's obviously the flip side where E goes to C. Okay, that's that augmented fifth there. Otherwise, 1-4-5 would be E, A, B. And we don't have that. So let's look at this chart. 267 is a pretty good chart. Most of the chart is right over here that we're going to learn. We did talk about what's going on over here with the majors and minor circles. Now let's look at the crux of the chart here. Now I've added an extra fretboard. So this is 3 fretboards. It's simply caged. So we have here C, A, G, E, and D shapes. This is 1 and 1, 1, 4, 5. 4, 5, right? Let's zoom in. I've written out the pentatonic scale here. This is the minor, and this is the major. Okay, and this is in the root key. This is 1. 1 is the root key. Now look how it changes. When we go to the 4th shape of that 1 shape, so for instance with the C box in the tripentatonic 1, 4, 5, okay, so it's C, E, G. In this case it spells a major chord, but it's really 1, 4, 5. Okay, we just don't realize that. We look at this 4th, and this is the pentatonic that's shaped like the 4th of C. So the 4th of C is E. This is the pentatonic of that E. See, we do that all the time. We do that all the time. Say we're playing in C. Okay. We're going to go to E shape for that 4th. Okay, and that E shape has a pentatonic scale. It goes 4, 5, 6, root 2, 4, 5, 6, root 2, 4, 5. My fingernail is getting weird shaped. So I saw that, okay, this is still in the numbering of the root when I made this chart, okay? And so similarly, when we want to form the relative minor of the 4th, okay, which is what we've been doing, is taking the relative minors of the 1, the 4, and the 5. Okay, so an easy way to find the relative minor of the 4th is what? I have an easy rule for the 5th. I don't have an easy rule for the 4th. You simply go to the 4th shape, so it would be F in this case, the E-shaped F. So right here we're in the C box. This is the box that we're in. This is the shape that we're in, and this is the relative minor shape that we're looking for. So we're looking for a D minor shape. Now it says we play 4, 6, 2. So this is how it would spell out, and you can see our D minor shape up here, 4, 6, 2, like that. But with the substitute, we don't want to really be counting 4, 6, 2 and 4, 5, 6, R2 and stuff. So we use a substitute. We've got the same E shape, but we're going to substitute the E lettering as if that E was a temporary root. But we're not going to the key of E, so we're only going to play the notes that are shared with that E and the root scale. For instance, if you looked at the key of C, you'd have, and then if we want to F, we just want to pretty much play the notes that are shared with that F scale. Like that. But we don't want to have it like, we don't want all the notes. We're just going to take the pentatonic or simply the triad. Okay, and it's minor because its minor is the 2nd minor of C. Okay, it didn't sound good, but it sounds good when you're going somewhere with music. Now, we're going to play it in as if the E was the root key. So for the sub for that D minor, we're just going to play root. So we're right here. Now I'm going to remove the capo because we're not at the part of the lesson where we will be dealing with long patterns. So this will have to